everybody. It is Sarah, the host of Unmuzzled, a podcast. We spell that P-A-W-D because it's all things animals all the time. Our guest today has already made me cry, and I have just met her. But our medical director for Live Like Rue said, Sarah, do not click the link until you're not distracted, until you can give it some time. And for me, that's very hard. You know, it's like squirrel and somebody's calling me, somebody's texting, somebody needs something. But I sat and I was just absolutely mesmerized from the get-go. I mean, the film work on this, and you guys are only going to see a little snippet because you have to go and watch the whole thing. And we're going to get there. Before we get there, I mean, this tease, I mean, are you not? You have to be so invested in this podcast now. Before we get there, presenting sponsors, you're up. Thank you so much to our presenting sponsors. Yucca Fence is a family-owned, trusted provider of high-quality fencing solutions with over 57 years of experience. They take pride in protecting what you love the most and give back to rescues, shelters, and humane societies through their partnerships. They give you a free, no-obligation estimate and use the highest quality materials. For transparency and peace of mind, visit Yucca Fence for all your fencing needs. Canine Cruise is the place to take your pet. They offer dog and cat boarding, dog daycare, pet retail, and mindful day school. Tons of indoor space with a huge yard. Canine Cruise is your one-stop shop for professional pet care in Chicago. Kiki's Corner and Natural Pet Foods in downtown Winfield, just a block south of CDH Hospital and the railroad tracks. Kiki's has all your food and health aid needs for dogs and cats. Kiki's Corner for a healthy, happy pet. Sniffing out a new vet? Bond Vet is a new breed of vet care that offers everything from primary care to walk-in urgent care visits. And right now, they've got a special treat for our listeners. You can use code UNMUZZLED to get $50 off your pet's first visit by booking at bondvet.com. That's code UNMUZZLED at BONDVET.com for $50 off. Thank you, sponsors. I appreciate you so much. Oh, boy, good timing here with Renee because I see a dog in the shot. So who's this?
It's Lassen.
Yes, and you all will have to follow the Instagram, follow the YouTube. So, Renee, before we get to you, I do want to play the trailer because I want people to feel that emotion that I felt when I saw it, because I know for anybody listening or watching, and if you're listening to this, please go to the link in the description of the podcast and click the trailer or click the link for actually the whole short film because it just melts your heart. Okay, here we go.
I've heard people say that when they retire or have more money, then they'll get outside more. They tell me I don't understand. I wonder if they don't understand that tomorrow is promised to no dog, cat, squirrel, or human. I am the author of the blog Crazy for the Seal. I share about the places I've traveled and matters of the heart. It's been said that my heart is so big that my little legs get tired of carrying it around. In 2019, we found out that I had cancer. For my 12th birthday, we are hiking Mount Talac. It's around 11 miles with 3,200 feet of elevation gain. Because, well, as long as we're alive, we need to live.
I'm already crying, which I was kind of like watching you just to see, because I know, when you have a pet like this, like Rue, that pet becomes not just for you, but like all these people holding on to kind of this journey that you went on, right? So how much I know that you've seen that a million times. How much does it still affect you just to see that? And like the voiceover is just, magnetic.
Yeah, it brings me right back into those moments, that feeling of Eben is my heart and I was his.
Yeah. And then it is, sometimes hard for people to kind of understand. We always talk about grieving, which we will get to, your career, your job, which is really like a passion project, but so meaningful to so many people. There's no real guideline and no timeline. And I hate when people say to somebody like, get over the dog or get over the cat, like it's just an animal. And we see less and less of that now because I think a lot more people and younger generations care more about their animals. So it becomes almost, giving people room to do what they need to. But the quote, it's going to make me cry just reading this. As long as we are alive, we need to live. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like locked in. Not just that, but like the drone shots, the photography of the whole thing. So let's start with, because the whole reason that I heard about you, as I said at the top of the podcast, was our medical director. Like a lot of times, unfortunately, I don't know everybody that we're helping. Like I sometimes see the stories, but we get so many applicants that it's impossible for me to see them all. But I went back. We did end up granting you $2,000. Which, now like looking back, it's a good amount of money, but we always want to do as much as we can for every dog. But how did this all come about? Obviously, it looks like you have been an adventure type person with Michael, as long as you've known each other. But then you add the dog to it. I think a lot of times we often forget, like these dogs, they all need enrichment. So tell us how this all began and then how you got to this amazing film.
Okay, first, I want to say something about that gift. Thank you so much. And I didn't have medical insurance on Eben.
Oh.
And we were doing photo fundraisers using Michael's photography. Come get your pet $25 shot, at the local park. And we were doing garage sales. And when I had done the application, you guys had said that there was no funding, and I was so impressed with your organization. It was like 2 years later, Laura wrote me, was like, I don't know if Eben is still around, but I'm sure you've accrued costs, so here is the money. And I was like, he's still here.
Oh, wow.
And it meant so much to me. So thank you. Thank you so much. I couldn't believe that you guys would be like, your card's up, like, please do this, because we know that it must have, you spent the money.
Yeah.
But how this all came about was Michael and I would always go to the Banff Film Festival every year. We loved seeing the outdoor films. We just were like, oh, it was so inspired to get out in nature. And there was always one film about the animal-human connection. And I remember every year I'd say to Michael, wow, there's always like a guy and his big dog out there doing something really cool, enjoying nature together. And it was like a secret little dream. But I remember at that point, Eben was 5 years old, and I had thought, Eben and I have been hiking peaks since he was basically a baby, he was 1 year old. So I thought, it would be so cool to have a woman out there with her small dog. And so it became this heart project. And I remember at a certain point, Michael was like, oh my gosh, you got to do this film, Renee. You've been talking about it for 5 years. And so really, this film was just built off of, I'll just say, this extraordinary French bulldog, because when I adopted him, I did not even know what French bulldogs were. My personality is kind of the type, if it's like popular, I'm like, I'll pass on it. And so I didn't even know what he was at the rescue. And so to start out, I didn't know that they're not hiking dogs. They're kind of known for being really cute on Instagram. They have these amazing personalities, and they're really smart, and they're super fun. And, people dress them up in cute costumes, but I didn't know that they weren't athletes. And I'll be honest, Eben he did what I don't think that they were meant to do, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So he just loved hiking, and he could go. Had cancer for 5 years, and he could go for like 14 miles, even at the end of his cancer journey. He was still going that amount at 13 years old.
Wow.
He did 7 miles, and the cancer was pretty metastatic at that point. And yeah.
Which, you know, it's similar to when we have our marathon team and I'm watching the marathon and there's a person with one leg. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to do it. And it just speaks volumes. It's like, live like Rue. I mean, that's the epitome of what we do. And until the very end, Eben was there doing it. I mean, it's so impressive. And to be able to show people this in that kind of form of film, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, Laura was right. Like, I literally sat there and I did it. I didn't look at my email. My phone was buzzing. You know, I got like I was locked in. It's amazing. So now for you, kind of, I know, you know, you've been in film festivals, but what is this legacy that he leaves, you know, with you kind of behind? Because I think that's kind of the remarkable part of it.
Yeah. So I think I wrote this film really as a reminder for myself initially, because it was like Eben was embodying as long as we're alive, we need to live. He embodied that spirit that no matter what is thrown into your bowl, I will keep pushing through. He had so much resilience and tenacity. And so I wrote this piece for 2 reasons. One, it was to validate what a beautiful soul he was. He had not a mean bone in his body. And as a way to kind of hold in time our life together. And the second piece of this was it's a collective piece. I wanted this film to validate how profound our relationships are with our animals and how profound the loss is. And so I feel like this is a part of his legacy is, as you said, you know, exactly, Sarah, like, because as long as we are alive, we need to live. When I first started writing it, I was really struggling with so much anxiety. I was in, you know, that anticipatory grief, and it was for 5 years. And then I moved into grief when he died. And so I want people to feel like, what can I do while I'm still here? Like, don't wait until you're retired to do it, because you might not make it that long. So be inspired by Eben to live now.
So important. I'm going to cry again. Because we talk a lot about anticipatory grief. And, you know, I feel like this is kind of like a buzzword now. And it's not that we didn't know what it was. It was just like never like named, I guess, you know, and through like our pet loss therapist that we work with at Live Like Rue, like I learned so much about it. And I don't take the classes, but you know, we provide people with the classes and pay for them, which I know this is similar to what you do. And I would love to partner too, but you know, you don't really, the first thing you want to do is just fall to the ground and curl up in a ball and go to bed, right? And like, you know, a lot of what you're talking about is like, that is actually the opposite of what you should do. And, you know, I'm not a therapist. I'm definitely not a vet. And, you know, a lot of people come to us, including Laura, for advice about medical or, you know, how do I know when it's time, or, you know, what, like, and I was reading about you know, when you get the initial diagnosis, you are on an island. You feel like nobody else is going through this. And once you realize the amount of support groups are, the amount of, you know, even foundations like ours or similar to ours, or even like your friends that have been through it, it makes you feel so much better. And, you know, it doesn't make you feel great, but it makes you feel like you're not alone. So the anticipatory grief it can be numbing. It can literally, but it, you know, when you realize that you have this animal to live for that can feel every single emotion that you're going through, that you might not climb a mountain like this, but you gotta get up and go for the walk, or for my dog that can't walk because of the medical problems that he has, a stroller ride. Like that is the highlight of his day, is to get him off of the couch and outside where he can see what's going on. And for you, who has done counseling your whole life, I know you have done marriage and family counseling, but have also gotten into pet loss and anticipatory grief. I assume this experience for you probably has taught you so much about your day-to-day life as a therapist.
Yeah. I mean, I was already working with people that were losing their grandchildren to cancer, or, I mean, horrific things, right? Like people snowboarding and their spouses getting killed in accidents. But I feel very passionate about helping people in this grief adverse culture that we live in. I mean, it's just, I heard so many times after Evan died, I heard it from family members, like, it's just a dog. And if I have to hear that one more time, I'm just, that's unacceptable. But really it shows how little people are comfortable with that part of themselves, that they feel out of control. Like, we are all on limited time. And so kind of going back to, I think, because as long as we are alive, we need to live. That's not even like a statement like go out and hike a mountain. It's like, be present now. Like, put your dog in the stroller and get outside. And I think nature, for me, it brings me back into what is most real. And actually sometimes that's scary, because I can't distract myself behind my phone. But it's like, to be present is to be present to even things that are really difficult within. And also, you brought up how there's so many support groups and everything. Where I found the most support wasn't even necessarily with my closest friends or my family. It was the community I have on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest surprise through this grief journey with Evan. I know all the downsides to social media, how there can be comparison, or there's so many things, and people can be cruel and leave mean comments, but I found my people there. I found people that would write me and check in on me, and they helped support me in ways that helped me through my anticipatory grief with Evan and my grief after.
Which also says a lot about the community that you built, because I'm the same way with Live Like Rue. It is very few and far between that we get a negative comment on there. And sincerely, like, those people care. I mean, there's a reason that they're following you. There's a reason they started to follow you. And, when after Rue passed away, everybody kind of came at me because, they wanted to know, what are you going to do? Like, you have to do something. Like, you built this community, but now you're going to just not, and obviously it did something about it, but you also have to have that time to grieve and actually, okay, like, with clear eyes, like, what should I be doing? And the first thing was to send cancer care packages to people that were like literally living in hell because they got this awful diagnosis in their pet. So that community, the social media community, as negative as it can be for some people, it has been nothing but great for us. And I, for you, like, look at this, and you've almost like started this legacy before, just similar to Rue. And now, it's pretty amazing. So I know that you have been in some film festivals, but is there kind of, a plan? Is there going to be like a part 2? Are you going to just try to get this into some of the bigger film festivals? I mean, it's just, I can't tell you guys enough that you have to watch it, because it's beautiful. It's literally beautiful. Like, even that opening shot, I was just, I know I've said this, but it's gorgeous. So are there any more plans for this film?
Thank you so much. Honestly, I feel so cared for through you. Yeah, so there is a plan. And this time I'm trying to get some funding. So I'm going to go meet with some people that fund film investors because this was my heart project with Evan. So it was a very low budget because we were paying his cancer care, and organizations like yourself were helping us. But, you know, radiation and all that stuff was so expensive for 5 years. But my next project is I want to do a documentary on pet loss. And I want to explore what this is. I want to help educate our culture. And I want to put people on there that can share their stories. And I want to make it a collective piece once again to validate people in their pain, but also their celebration of their beloved that has moved on. So that's my next thing.
I love it. And what I would love to see is if, you know, not to like pile on your schedule, but, you know, to be able to view this short film and maybe have you at different venues where you can then talk about it. You know, I think we've done a few here in Chicago where people were able to watch the film and then be able to talk to the documentary makers or the short film producers, directors, all of that. And it actually goes really well because you have this huge audience of animal lovers here in cities like in Chicago. So that would be amazing. And I know that would be a huge hit. I'm sure that you've probably done things like that already, but I will be talking to you about that to see if we can get it done. Renee Baffert, you have been amazing. Hey man, I knew you were going to be amazing, but also guys, how lucky am I to have these photos because Michael, her partner, is a photographer. And so you know, when she sends all these photos, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. These photos are just freaking gorgeous. Just like the film. Go watch the film. Renee, thank you. You've been an amazing guest. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. Renee Baffert, everybody, go watch the film. Again, it is right in the comments of the podcast. It's also on YouTube, the link that I have there. But please watch it, and you too will be blown away. Supporting sponsors, thank you. Thank you to our supporting sponsors. On the corner of Montrose and Troy in Chicago's Irving Park neighborhood, you'll find a hidden gem known as Templestowe Pub. They have a great selection of local draft beers, and the Malort is always flowing. Oh, no. Join us for a charity bingo event or a tap takeover with a local brewery. Don't want to leave your dog at home? All good. Bring them along. Whether you're throwing darts or playing a banger on the jukebox, you're guaranteed to have an awesome time. So head on over to 3135 West Montrose and look for the old style sign. The Canine PT is Chicago's highest rated dog physical therapy clinic, and they're dedicated to enhancing the lives of your four-legged companions as they age or when recovering from an injury. Give the gift of pain relief to your furry friends. They also offer a discount for rescue dogs. For more information, visit thecaninepT.com. Intuitive animal behavior dog training, positive reinforcement, force-free and fear-free training solutions for every dog. Jenna offers individualized training, behavioral boarding, shelter support, and positive reinforcement board and train services. Creating an environment that is happy and healthy for your pets is so important. For more information, go to intuitiveanimalbehavior.com. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Thank you, Renee Baffert. I so appreciate your time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.